Hey everyone, so as you probably know from last week, it is time for the Your Questions video. So let's begin. So I have two questions from the same person. They are Toffee1617, and their first question is, who would win in a fight? Megalania versus Titanoboa. Well, these two animals did not live in the same place at the same time, so they never met each other. But if they did, well, Megalania lived in Australia during the Pleistocene. The estimates for its size would appear that this could grow up to 3 meters to maybe 7 meters in length, which is pretty large. It's a relative of the Komodo dragons, so it's something you wouldn't want to meet alone. And the chances are, like its living relatives today, it had venom glands in its mouth. And then we have Titanoboa, which lived at the Paleocene about 60 million years ago. This is one massive snake. The estimates seem that this snake could grow up to 50 feet in length, and that is massive. So this would have been a lot bigger than Megalania. In my opinion, I think Titanoboa would have won in a fight if these two animals met. The reason for that is because Titanoboa would have been so powerful when it constricted its prey that I don't think Megalania would have had a chance. From the fossil evidence that's been found, it would appear that Titanoboa lived with animals like crocodiles and turtles, and these weren't small animals. The fossils have been found to be very large of these turtles and crocodiles, and the crocodiles that lived with Titanoboa would have been a lot larger than Megalania, and it would seem that Titanoboa fed on those crocodiles. So because of that, I believe that if these animals did get in a fight, it would be Titanoboa that would be the winner. And I've heard estimates that the constriction pressure of the snake would have been the equivalent of the weight of 3 Eiffel Towers on top of each other. I'm not so sure how accurate those estimates are, but if that's true, you would not want to be constricted by this massive snake, that is for sure. Toffee1617's next question then is, do you know what Saurophrus's last name was, like Arthur Plura or Mater? Well, the last name is the species name and the first name is the genus name. Now, I didn't know what the species name of this giant flea is. It is massive. It would appear that the fossil evidence that has been found of this flea would show that this could grow up to about 1 inch long, which is a very large flea. It is something you would not want biting you. I believe it was seen in Walking with Dinosaurs, but I don't think it was given its actual name. I think it was just referred to as the parasite when it was feeding on the Ornithochirus, which is the pterosaur that was featured in the series. I actually had to do some searching to find out the name for the species. I think the reason for that is because there's not a great deal of research going on into this flea at the moment, and so it's just being kept stored safely in a museum somewhere. But I was able to find out that the species name is Longipes. The next question comes from Gustary's Ghost, and it actually refers to, I actually made this video about voice acting and it didn't go so well, so I decided to get rid of it. But they say, you know what you should have done, Ryan, and maybe this is a possibility for a future video. You should have used your vocal talents to make a video where you attempted to best approximate what different types of dinosaurs sounded like based on the fossil evidence that has been found so far. In fact, I'm going to head and suggest this, and maybe, just maybe, we can forget about this little incident. Ha ha. Well, I like to try different things out on YouTube, and unfortunately that was something that did not work out particularly well. But referring to your question, I don't think I'm going to make a video where I make dinosaur sounds. That probably goes a bit too far for me, so I'm not going to do that. But you know, on YouTube I do want to try different things out. I have different ideas, not all of them are the same, so sometimes I try them out. And you won't know if they work out well if you don't try them. So sometimes you do have to make risks and take risks to find out what is good for you to do when you're making a video. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And we'll see in the future what else I make. But I know that that kind of stuff isn't really good for my YouTube channel. So I probably won't be doing any more vocal sounds like that anymore. Okay, next question. So my last question comes from Lewis G13571, and they say, Dinosaur Ryan, I need to ask of your help as a paleontologist to another. I am writing a book about the history of life, and I am stuck in the Devonian and having little more than easy to find animals than in the Walking With series. Could you explain a bit more about some rare Devonian fish outside the Dunkleosteus and the Cladocelach, please? Thank you. Well, my knowledge on Devonian animals is not particularly that sharp, not like the Mesozoic. But from what I know, there were a lot of sharks that lived at the Devonian. There would have been a lot of armor-plated fish, as you have referred to. There would also have been other animals that would have lived there. There would have been a lot of rarity in arthropods. There would have been trilobites, sea scorpions. Maybe look into them. But if you're looking into fish, really, I think the sharks are a good animal to look at. So I think talking about sharks would be really good because there would have been a rarity during the Devonian period. And I think sharks are a really good animal to talk about. I mean, many people are interested in them. And so I think if you talk about sharks and what they would have been like in the Devonian, possibly that would be something good for your book. And I hope it goes really well too. I'd like to know more about it, so let me know. So I hope that's helped. I hope everyone has got the answers they really needed for their questions. As always, I hope to be making new videos soon, and I'll see you later. So I'll see you soon.